Hello friends, I'm Shikin, I'm Wenhui, and I'm Peijing. Welcome to study with us. Our class for today is about the types of interaction among biotic components. Take out your textbook and follow us on page 182 and 183. Let's go!
First of all, we can take a look and go through the type of interaction among biotic components. There are 4 types of interaction. And what are they? They are saprophytism, symbiosis, predation, and competition. And then we can look at saprophytism. It means that an organism gets its food from that organic materials. And the next one, we can look at symbiosis, which means different species live together and interact with each other. There are 3 types of symbiosis, and the first one, we can look at mutualism, which means both organisms that involve gets benefit. Next, we can take a look at commensalism. Commensalism is when one organism gets benefits from the other without harming it. And the last type of symbiosis is parasitism, which involves parasite and the host. Next, we take a look at predation. Predation involves predator and the prey. After that, we look at competition. Competition is when organisms compete for the basic needs. And the common basic needs is usually food, water, light, and mates, and so on. There are 2 different types of competition, and one of them is interspecific competition, which is the competition between organisms of different species. And the last one is intraspecific competitions, which is the competition between organisms of the same species. Do you still remember how many types of interaction among biotic components do we have? 4. We have 4 of them. And what are they? They are saprophytism, symbiosis, predation, and competition. So, saprophytism. What does it mean by saprophytism? It is an interaction in which an organism gets its food from that organic materials. And in this interaction, you need to remember that the keyword is that organic materials. Hi, I'm Mushroom. I live on this dead tree trunk to get nutrients. I have hyphae that can release hydrolytic enzymes. The enzymes can digest the cell wall of the tree trunk, which enable me to absorb nutrients from the dead tree trunk. Now, the interaction between mushrooms and the dead tree trunk is saprophytism, as mushroom acts as the saprophyte and the dead tree trunk as the dead organic matter. And now we go to symbiosis. Symbiosis is when different species live together and interact with each other. Mutualism is a type of symbiosis. It is when both organisms that is involved in the interaction benefit. As an example, this interaction between the bee and the flower. The flower provides honey to the bee, and the bee helps in pollination of the flower. This interaction involves both of them getting the benefits, and it is called mutualism. Next is parasitism. Parasitism is when one organism, called the parasite, benefits while the other organism, called the host, is harmed. And in this interaction, you have to remember the keywords that are parasite and the host. The parasite benefits, the host is harmed. This is an example of parasitism. Tapeworms live in human intestine. They are known as they absorb nutrients from human and is a very common parasite. This parasite harmed the human and the human lost nutrients. The last type of symbiosis, which is commensalism, means that in the interaction, one organism gets the benefits from the other organism without harming it. This interaction between the remorar fish and the shark is called commensalism. Moving on to predation, it is when an organism called the predator kills the other organism, that is also known as prey, for food. Now, competition. Competition is when organisms in a habitat compete for the common basic needs of life that are limited. Wow! Banana!
Whoa, banana.
Excuse me, this is my banana.
No, it's mine.
Now, the situation of the monkeys fighting over the banana is called competition. The first type of competition is interspecific competition. It happens among organisms of different species. As an example, plants in the rainforest compete in order to get the maximum amount of sunlight. And finally, the last one, intraspecific competition. The competition happens among organisms of the same species. As an example, tigers fight over territories, and male tigers fight when they are attracted to the same breeding female, called tigress. Intraspecific competition. Do you still remember? The answer is competition between the same species. Did you answer correctly? Now move on to the next question. Interspecific competition. Competition between different species. What are the common basic needs? Easy, right? Remember the keywords.